Blah, blah. Welcome to I Drink and I Know Things, episode number 14. Today we're going to talk about the paranormal. It sounds like cannibalism if the conversation we were having off air continues. Jensen, why do you eat people? What is wrong with you? And why haven't you eaten Theresa May yet? Is she too green? What's going on?
Because I have much better taste than eating that haggard, wasted creature.
Contaminated.
And apart from that, there is nothing wrong with eating humans as long as you can get rid of the nerve endings and you don't eat the brain. It's simple. I don't see what people get confused about.
Well, okay. Take one for the team and eat Theresa May, all right? You're going to have to do it. It's just, think of it as your civic duty.
Yeah, let me think about. No. I'm sorry, I'm not ruining my palate after eating that leathery creature. Ew.
Well, hey, I mean, she's got to be, what, half reptilian? So it probably tastes like alligator. It'll be fine.
Oh, so I'll bring a couple of burgers down. You'll be fine then, will you? Okay, good to know.
No, I'll take the fish and chips. But anyway, how's everybody doing today? What did you rant about this morning, MC? Because as usual, I was sleeping while you do your little rants in the morning.
I ranted about a lot of stuff this morning. I started off with a hell of a rant. What the hell, man? You just don't know what you're missing.
It's true, you don't, dude. You really should watch them. They are awesome.
Like always, it's the MC Power Hour.
Today, let's see. Let's take a look at what I was doing today. It's been a little bit since I pulled that up, so let's just kind of meander on over here. I will tell you very quickly here, depending upon how fast the internet actually works today, because it seems to be going a little bit slow for some reason.
Yeah, I've been having the same sort of problem, funny enough. It's been taking quite a while to actually load up shit lately. God knows what's going on.
So let's go into here. Let's see.
Well,
I did a Mueller thing, and then I did a Congress passing the Yemeni thing.
Wait, they're still talking about Mueller? Like, that's still going on?
Oh yeah, that's still going on. Then I was talking about I talked about the guy who claimed that he was the 8-year-old that he wasn't, that was missing for 7 years, but it wasn't him. He was actually a 22-year-old ex-convict. I talked about the Saudis threatening to end the petrodollar and actually sell their oil in other ways. I talked about Juicy. Of course, Brexit. I talked about the Alphabet AI.
The Juicy thing, they're threatening to try him again, aren't they? Because the charges got dropped. He wasn't exonerated, which means double jeopardy doesn't come into play.
They're not going to charge him again. They're not going to charge him again. Are you kidding me?
He's protected.
Not only that's not so why he's protected because he's part of the in crowd with the Obamas. Okay, that's why he's protected. If this was James Wood has money. Do you think they'd be protecting him?
Oh, they'd be throwing his white ass under the bus with his shit, dude.
So it's not about his money. Okay, it's not. Well, let me phrase that. It's not just about his money. All right, that's the thing that's going on here. Can rich people hire really good lawyers and get off? Yeah, but that's not what happened here. Okay, that's not what took place here. What took place here was he was in good with certain people, and they decided they just didn't want they didn't want justice meted out in any way, shape, or form. And this is real corruption. You can bitch about, having a lawyer that's better than the other lawyer and they got away with it because they had good lawyers. O.J. Simpson got away with it because he had good lawyers. Okay. All right. I personally think that O.J. Simpson got away with it because we had a ship prosecutor, but that's a separate issue.
If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit.
That's nonsense. Right? That goes back to the stupidity of that a leather glove that gets wet won't shrink. Just ask the manufacturer. Any manufacturer who says that should be immediately held accountable, saying there's no freaking way that that's possible.
Well, no, and you're right, though, because this is real privilege. He got let off. Why? Because Michelle Obama got on the goddamn phone.
Right. Now, who won the Chicago mayor as the Chicago mayor?
Oh, we were talking about this the other day. I can't remember the name. I still have Robert Manuel stuck in my head, dude.
Well, yeah. The one who won was a good friend of who? Oh, Kimberly Fox, the bizzo who freaking let him go. Drop the charges. So do you think the city is going to do anything? As soon as she gets in charge, she's going to drop everything. She's going to drop the lawsuit, the threat, the fine, everything's going to get dropped.
That's insane. What if it was me or you or, even Sherardi? Like, she's a woman. They would have crucified her for faking this bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they would have. Of course they would have. But because she's not part of the protected class.
But
he had two of the protected class.
I'm not protected. Strong, strapping men wouldn't protect me.
So you're not part of the protected class. Please open your ears.
I know what you said. I'm just fucking with you. Jeez.
He hit two of the big protected class notes. He was black and he's a homosexual.
No, wait a minute though. I thought he's not black enough, right? Isn't that what they're saying now? Like,
no, that's Will Smith.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, I thought he was only half black.
It doesn't matter. He's got two of the Express Olympics. Not Express. What's what I'm looking for? Suppression Olympics.
Yeah, and at the NAACP, one of the black people, comedians, what have you, said that he's not allowed to have the U in his name. That was the respect. So now he's Jesse. The U was respect.
He's juicy. Oh, I'll give him the U, all right.
Give him the U right up his ass. But no. Oh shit, dude. All right. I don't know. When it comes to Chicago politics, it's been fucked for a very long time, and it's not going to get fixed anytime soon. It's just in a city where you have how many murders every weekend? It's kind of sad we have to fucking protect people like Juicy, who just fucking abuse the system and get away with it.
Well, yeah, and it's gonna continue. It's gonna get worse now. What are you talking about? You're gonna see there's gonna be a murder spree within 6 months. There's gonna be a murder spree like you've never seen going on in Chicago.
Ooh, side topic. I got a question for Voice. Do you speak Gaelic?
No.
Okay.
I know
the majority of people in Ireland don't speak Gaelic.
Okay. I saw some Irish woman on YouTube speaking Gaelic, and that got me wondering if you spoke Gaelic. So I just was like, I have to ask you.
I can barely speak fucking English.
Welcome to the club. Oz in the chat says he doesn't need the U when he's getting the D. Yeah. All right, fair enough. Okay, so all the murders happening in Chicago. I think that's a good point to transition into the actual topic of the day.
I hate to interrupt you there, but remember, there is no murders in Chicago because black on black crime doesn't exist.
That's true. You're not allowed to talk about that because such things can't exist. That means you're obviously some sort of conspiracy theorist, and we know what they think of those nowadays.
Yes, you see, it's not murder in Chicago. People are just falling over dead somehow magically. I don't know how they do it, but white people are turning themselves into black people to shoot other black people, and then turning themselves back into white people.
Don't be ridiculous, voice. It's Trump. He's the one going around killing every single one of these people wearing blackface.
You mean Trump's clones?
And that's possible how?
He's
Well,
Trump.
he has his son do it. It's Donald Trump Jr. like running around doing it.
Oh, and that's possible.
He's got
how.
Bannon running around doing it. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, MC. The last time Bannon run fucking JFK was president.
Isn't that his son? His young son? Bannon?
Well, old is Bannon not that fucking fat fella who got fired?
Oh no, yeah, there's that's Steve Bannon, but I'm talking about his son. What's his son's name?
Aaron.
Barron. I'm
Byron.
sorry. I was trying to say Barron. I failed. It was a
Miserably.
failed attempt.
Well, that's an interesting point because, like, you know, Barn von Trump. I'm smelling a new doctor. No,
That is that
smelling
an
a new
evil
doctor.
name?
No, I'm smelling a new Doctor Doom.
Is that an evil name or what?
It is, isn't it? It's a definite dodgy name, at least.
It sounds a wee bit German. Just saying.
Well, his grandfather was German. What do you expect? Trump has
Now we know.
ties to the
Everything makes sense now. Everything makes sense.
If he grows a mustache, be worried.
No, you don't need to be worried. He's just joined the Charlie Chaplin Appreciation Society.
Charlie Chaplin is the only other person in history allowed to have that goddamn mustache.
Yeah, but
Yep.
the thing is, if Charlie Chaplin came out today, it would be
Hey,
called
Jonah
a Nazi.
Jameson had it. He got away with it.
I can just see Trump 9 like hitting the desk. Like, yeah. I
My
don't know.
generals are all
9
stupid.
what?
They're morons. They do not understand the greatness of their leader.
No, I want to see him stand up before Congress and just say, we're going to set up a new base in Poland to see the looks on their faces.
Build the wall. Build the wall.
I'm telling you, what he should do is just announce that we're moving the troops on the other side of the wall. We're just going to sit up there and start. We're having operations to stop infiltration with the military, and we're doing it on the Mexican side of the border. This is not a law enforcement operation. This is a military operation.
Wait.
On the other border.
Wait, whoa. We're invading Mexico now?
I would.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing that you missed. I did suggest that as well.
MC, I'm sorry, but that's a war you would lose because no one's going to support, attacking Mexico. Because what happens to all the tacos?
Please.
Yeah,
The
no.
people that actually know how to make the fucking tacos will still make the fucking tacos.
Think
Oh,
about the
no.
avocados. See, those poor avocados.
You mean season the avocado orchards?
Oh,
Yeah.
dear God.
Oh man.
If that's what we're worried about, it's not like we can't seize the avocado orchards.
I don't even
like
avocados, to be honest. But
Well, then don't make stupid suggestions.
Avocados are delicious.
Oh, come on,
Hummus is
only
delicious. Avocados are delicious. And Dodge, you're stupid.
Jeez, holy cow, Ferrari!
hey,
At
somebody
least one of
kick
those
me.
statements is accurate.
Kick me.
No, it's like this. The only reason Shirati is upset is because women in California use avocados as love beads.
Are you saying she's sitting on the avocado?
I wouldn't imply that at all, but I'm just saying it wouldn't be a surprise.
Are you saying that's where you get the whole concept of rib for her pleasure from?
MC,
Nice.
you're throwing
Nice
punches.
I don't like it when people.
Hey, just sit and spin on the avocado, all right?
Oh, honey, you can't make up your own, so you're using others?
I don't want to go down this road.
Wow.
This road is festooned with all sorts of things.
Hang on.
We don't want to go down this road.
MC, you don't want to go
honey.
down a road where Shirati and Mad Dodge fights, but you're okay with invading Mexico?
That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm saying, boys.
No, he doesn't want to start a fight with me.
No, I'm not afraid of starting a fight with you.
He'd kill all the avocado trees if he could. I'm with you, buddy. Let's kill them all.
Hey, I said earlier today on CSG's stream, it's a dodge. Kill it. Kill it with fire.
You don't need that. You don't need fire to kill Dodge. Just turn off his internet.
Hey,
Oh God, don't do that.
Wait
I'll
for
have to
it
bloody take over again.
that's cruel and unusual punishment, okay?
What? You make Jensen do most of the work anyways.
And you guys thought I was brutal.
Who the fuck is letting the woman talk? God.
Oh, you think I need permission to speak? That's cute.
You better start doing something, man, because she definitely has the upper hand at the moment.
Although we have to admit, Shirati's new picture does represent women quite well.
Yep. Acidic.
I do enjoy
malicious,
Rainbow
wicked.
Bright.
Okay.
Wait, it's the queen.
How
Hang
does
on,
it
MC, are you?
changing? It goes from this weird cat to an alien. I'm confused.
Oh, honey, I didn't want to be anything like you at all. That includes the top hat.
Oh, the kitty with a top hat was awesome. It was so cute.
Congratulations, man! You've got your first stalker.
Well, women are evil. But anyway, moving on. All right. So Jensen, you live in the UK. There's got to be ghosts around every fucking corner, right? Like you got Roman centurions fucking running around still.
You think the Roman centurions bit is the impressive bit of the ghost? I'm sorry. Let's just go for somewhere simple involving ghosts. Oh, I don't know, Tower of London. It's not like that's not haunted into the middle of bloody next week. Come on.
Dude, I would love to go freaking spend the night at the Tower of London as long as they let me back out. Because there's a history of people just being locked in there.
Well, you have to remember, Mad, you are a traitor to the crown, so historically speaking, you could be locked up for treason.
He has a point. He has a point there, actually. That's the problem, dude.
Are you guys still mad about that whole little war thing and the tea in the harbor? I mean, come on.
We might be an extremely polite people, but we do, hold a grudge quite well.
They're not even mad about that. What they're really mad about is that we got help from the French to do it.
Yep.
What they're really mad about is the fact that we won.
You didn't win. You created California.
Hey,
Touché.
you can't hold California against us forever, okay? So you got to let it go sooner or later. You still have whales.
Sometimes when you steal stuff from Mexico, it just doesn't work out.
I'll tell you what, MC, we'll make you a deal. We'll bomb California if you bomb the EU.
Could you imagine?
Well, right
being
now, I hate to tell you guys this, but right now, your best chance is to have a foreign powers in the EU say no to the deal, to any deal, to the extension on Brexit. You could actually be saved by a foreign nation.
Hungary for the win.
Well, no. Could you imagine being haunted by the ghost of Merkel? That just sounds terrifying to me.
Why?
Like,
Why
it's
bring
not-
that
Well,
up?
you're going to what? It's morning, right? You're half awake. You're fucking stumbling into the kitchen for some fruity pebbles or some shit, and then there's fucking Merkel just standing there. You're like, fucking bitch, get the fuck out.
Yeah, the only problem with that story is fruity pebbles. What sort of fag are
Oh.
you?
you don't like fruity pebbles? That's some good shit, dude.
We
Come on
don't
now.
have them over here.
He has kids, dude. Just let it go.
Yeah, what? Should I have
Thank you
brought up
very much,
Captain Crunch?
MC, and now I have that stuck in my head.
Hang on, MP. Are you saying it was the fruity pebbles that made Mod Sun gay?
Oh,
Jeez, that's brutal, dude.
Go eat a fucking potato, you son of a bitch.
Oh, come on, Mod. Come up with a better comeback than that.
No, the comeback would have been go eat a potato. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't have any.
That would have been better. You're right.
come on. If we're talking about breakfast stuff, you should have just said to him, "How's your Lucky Charms?" That would have done it.
Ooh.
Not surprising because we don't actually have Lucky Charms over here.
I know. It's funny, isn't it?
Kind of stole those too, didn't we?
Well, you guys just get mad because of the fucking leprechaun. You're like, what the fuck is my cousin doing on the box?
That one wasn't actually bad, Mad Dodge. You actually
No, that
scored
was
a
actually
little bit
quite
with that one.
good. Yes.
No, but getting back to the whole ghost concept, Britain. I mean, it absolutely kills me when I watch the various ghost hunting stuff in America, and they're saying this is the most haunted place in America. It's been haunted for over 100 years.
And you start to giggle to yourself. Yes, yes, we know. We have such
Okay,
young places.
Yeah, just because you have a desk older than my fucking country doesn't make you better than me. All right?
Actually, my house is older than you. Your country.
Oh my god! Oh, that says it all.
So what you're saying is that you have an ageism problem with ghosts.
Yeah, no, it seems
Yes.
like you're kind of like that bitch from the Young Turks, right? I'm better than you. You're like, no, shut up.
Ooh, Anna Kasparian. I'm pretty sure that's what he just called you.
What is this right now? We've got to sit up there and have one-upsmanship for our ghosts are older than your ghosts. I mean, what the hell,
Right.
man? I'm trying to understand what the hell's the point of this.
Well, in the live chat, AJ points out that US has got old Indian haunted places that are 1,000 years old. Ooh, I'm
Wow.
impressed.
Yes, but isn't he Korean?
It's also true.
Yeah, one thing I would say, Jensen brings up a very good point here about the Brits versus the Yankees, is that if you watch the American TV shows like Ghost Adventures and stuff, they're all very, oh my god, yeah, let's go. And if you watch the British one, it's like, oh, I say, I believe I felt something just then. Oh my, it's.
You're so right, dude. The difference is absolutely hilarious.
It's because us Americans are always drunk when we go hunting ghosts. Because, well, I mean, you don't want to be up at 2 a.m. without any alcohol.
Mod, that's just you.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No, but seriously, if you actually want to start looking at interesting places in Britain for ghosts, you want to go to Cornwall and go to the Jamaica Inn. Oh, that place is awesome. You've probably never heard of it, have you?
No, I haven't. But then again, there's probably places over here you haven't heard of. Like there's a lighthouse in Florence where supposedly this woman jumped off the top of it, and she's haunting the lighthouse supposedly. You can go stay at the inn and stuff. That's kind of cool. There's lots of different areas along the West Coast that are like that.
Actually, there's one in I believe it's Massachusetts or Connecticut. I'm not 100% sure because I don't know your geography off 100%. But apparently, the lighthouse keeper went out there with his young wife, and because she was bored, he bought her piano, and then she started playing the piano every day, and she didn't know a lot of songs, so she played the same tune every day, and then he bludgeoned her to death. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think
I think that's a lighthouse off the coast of Maine. It's on a little island right there.
Yeah, it could be.
I have heard that story.
There's an important lesson here: don't buy your wife a piano.
Well, could you imagine being that husband though, and she's playing the same bloody song every fucking day for months and months and months, and then finally you lose your shit and you kill her in the parlor with the fucking candlestick. It's like a game of Clue.
Actually, there is
that comes to a game of Clue. I don't think the game is played quite that way.
There is one place over with you lot that I would actually really like to visit, and that's Roanoke Island. That place fascinates me.
What is it that fascinates you about the story? The fact that they all disappeared, or the carving into the tree? Croatoan, I think it said, right?
It was. Actually, it is. It's the Croatoan thing. I mean, apparently, and I know not if this is true, so don't start shouting at me if I get anything wrong here. But apparently, there was supposed to be an Indian tribe called the Croatoan that were meant to be cannibals. Like I say, I don't know. This is probably something you lot would know a lot more about than me.
I'm not sure about the cannibal thing, but there was another tribe, and they thought that the marking in the tree meant that they had went to that tribe, because the thing is, there was one tribe that was friendly and another tribe that was warlike and attacking them. So they had sent for help, and the ship went back to Great Britain, but there was a big storm, and it took them over 1.5 or 2 years to come back to resupply the colony. Well, when they came back, the colony was deserted, and that marking was left in the tree. So it's either a warning saying they were attacking us, or it was a message saying we evacuated to that tribe.
Or
they don't know.
Or it could have been the first example of gang tagging.
Okay, but you whatever. Fuck you.
He doesn't know where to go from there.
Yeah, you totally wrecked my train of thought, dude.
well, let's be honest, that isn't exactly hard to do.
Which is why he's upset.
CLB reckons the demon got them. It's funny that, because I'd actually heard rumors about that myself. Apparently, I think it was called Eater of Souls used to hang around that area. So he may well be right with that, to be honest.
Well, actually, no, we find out a list of the members who were part of the Croatoan village, because I'm pretty sure we know what happened if one of them was called Quinn.
Well, no, what's interesting is there's this movie with Denzel Washington in it, Fallen, I believe it's called, where the demon transfers through touch, right? They mentioned the Croatoan story in it, and they say that it was Legion. It was the demons that came upon the colony. So there is that, but that's just from pop culture, and it's a movie.
But you also have the episode. You also have the episode of Supernatural. They also took a swing at the Croatoan thing, only this time it was actual demons.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately, don't get me wrong. I actually really well. Okay, let me reword this. I used to really enjoy the Supernatural TV series. Nowadays, it's just become an absolute bloody joke. And thankfully, apparently, they're all leaving after the next season. So I suppose that's a good thing. But
Oh, yeah.
the problem,
I mean,
go on, dude.
Jensen is 100% correct. That Supernatural is a perfect example of when a series goes on way, way, way too long. Because let's be honest, after season 9, it was basically rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Oh, look, our daddy's back. Oh, look, our mummy's back. Oh, look, Bobby's back. No.
Yeah, yeah. And now, of course, it's getting real interesting because they've got a bloody Nephilim working with them. You know, it's not like that's going to get bloody ridiculous now, is it?
I think the fact that both Sam and Dean have been resurrected more times than Christ is a bit funny anyway.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
I mean,
Oh
Christ
my
only
God.
came back once, they came back half a dozen times each.
Well, you know, they've got things they need to get done, man. I.e., make as much money out of this bloody series as they can before it finally gets shut down.
Well,
Yeah, but
what
the
is
thing
it?
is,
Is it
this is
on
going to
like
be.
season 12 or some shit?
The problem here is that, unfortunately for Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki, the main stars, they'll never work again because do you really want to hire people who, even if you put them in a sci-fi show or a drama, what's the first thing people are going to say when they see the episode? Oh, look, it's Sam and Dean.
Yeah. Well, I know you know this voice, but Jensen Ackles originally came from the Dark Angel series.
Yep. Where he played actually two parts. He played, he was actually born twins. One twin went insane and started killing a bunch of people, and the other was friends with, forget her name now.
Yeah,
Shit.
I know.
Yeah, and he was really good in that. And
Yes.
if you want to know about Jared,
That's the thing with Jessica Alba was the
Yeah, I heard it.
Yep.
oh, I knew her. I just forgot the name of her character.
I never worried about what the name of her character was.
I wonder fucking why.
All right. Well, wrapping back around to the paranormal. Okay. Do you guys actually believe in ghosts? I
Yes.
do. So
No.
Well, I
why
think the
not?
fact that
Have you not seen anything, or yeah? Why is
Not
it that
a
you
fucking
don't believe?
thing.
I will put it like this. I'm not sure about ghosts, but considering Ginsburg is still alive, I'm pretty sure zombies are real.
Not necessarily ghosts, but paranormal, yes. Ghosts, no.
Well, when you say paranormal, MC, you mean the official definition, right? Above the normal, something outside of the known realm,
So
not necessarily
outside
supernatural.
of scientific explanations, I believe that there's something way outside of scientific explanations that we haven't even come close to. That I do believe, because observationally we are limited in our scope. We are actually in science coming to the limit of our ability, all right, to understand things from a technological standpoint, from an observational standpoint. We're going to have another paradigm shift, all right, within science to actually be able to continue to explore.
Well, here's a question. And sorry about the kids; they're in the other room, but they're yelling. But all right, here's the thing: do you believe in a soul? If you believe in a soul, where does that energy go after you die? Because it wouldn't just dissipate and vanish, right? So if you believe in the aspect of a soul, don't you kind of, by extension, need to believe in ghosts?
No, and no, I don't.
Well, I think if you want to go that way, there's actually a scientific aspect to this supernaturalness as well. Because if you want to look upon our greater consciousness, you say the spark that makes us conscious is energy, then that might be able to be quantified. But again, we know energy doesn't dissipate, therefore you could end up with your energy just becoming part of the universe. I mean, there is a theory, and again, this is a far out there theory, you know, there's definitely no science behind it, but basically our greatest consciousness is why the universe is expanding, because we move on and become a greater part of the universe, you know.
That's an interesting idea. And if you look at Edgar Casey, he said that there is a it's kind of like an internet of consciousness, and anybody can tap into it, and that's how he did his readings. You guys know who Edgar Casey is, right? We've talked about him before on the show, so I'm assuming
I know who he is, but I don't know if Edgar Casey really understood what he was talking about either. I mean, that was long before the internet existed.
Is that guy Casey the one who dressed up as a clown?
No, he was, they called him the sleeping prophet. He would go into a hypnotic state, and he would do medical readings and tell people how to cure their ailment, you know, what was wrong with them. And the thing is, he was illiterate, you know, in real life. And like, he would go into this hypnotic state and he would diagnose people. It was actually quite amazing.
Psychic surgery, I've heard about that sort of shit. Actually,
Yeah,
that's interesting. Sorry, mate, go on.
No, I'm sorry, I interrupted you, sir.
Oh, okay. No, as I say, psychic surgery, I've heard about that sort of thing. People that can touch someone, read what's wrong with them, and accurately diagnose it, even though the person doing the psychic surgery themselves have absolutely no medical knowledge apart from basically the shit you could learn by watching TV. You know, they're not formally registered as doctors, and yet they're able to point out things that doctors who have fully examined them don't know what's wrong with them.
Okay, Pete in the chat corrected me and said he wasn't illiterate. Okay, I do believe he was able to read and write, but that was about the extent of it. He wasn't a genius. You know what I mean?
He wasn't highly educated. That's what it.
Well, you're saying he wasn't a genius. Did people give him money for this?
Okay, so in the beginning, no. But later on, yes, I do believe he started to get paid for his work. And people would insert questions that like, I'm looking for this you know, oil well. Where would I find it? And he would answer it, but then it would start to drain him. It's really interesting. When people were trying to use his powers for greedy purposes, it actually drained the energy out of him.
I'm sorry, but he was getting paid for sitting on his ass. He was a genius.
Yep.
Okay, well, fair enough. I don't know, MC, you know about Edgar Casey. Elaborate a little bit where I messed up here.
Well, I mean, he wasn't formally educated in any way, shape, or form, and you are correct in that for the most part, he did not accept a payment for the most part. He died poor. Okay, he would tell people not necessarily what was wrong with them always. At times, he would just say, "This is what you need to fix whatever is ailing you," and they would come back saying that they were fixed. At other times, he would elaborate to the point where he would say, you fell when you were at such and such an age, and it hit your head, and this is what's pressing on you. So if you find a way to relieve that pressure, then all of a sudden the incidents will go away, right? And which place people would remark that they never told him anything about that, and he was 100% right. So it was really more, he focused more on that. He did at one point create a map where supposedly oil reserves would be found in the future and so forth. How accurate that has been over time is anybody's guess, because nobody that I know of has the map. All right, that I don't think the map has been found. So I mean, there's I mean, there's lots of stories about him. And of course, he died, prior to any kind of real rigorous scientific study being able to be done on him.
Yeah, no, and he also had said where he believed you would find Atlantis. He also brought up the Hall of Records in Egypt. He says it's underneath the Sphinx. And what's interesting is they actually did a what's it called? Pretty much sonar, right? Where they looked into the ground, and
they have done ultrasonics on the ground there, and they do know that there's a cavity underneath the Sphinx, but the Egyptian government will not allow anyone to dig in there. They will not allow anybody to dig underneath the Sphinx to find out if there's what's in that cavity.
Yeah, but it's really interesting because Edgar Casey had said that's where the Hall of Records is located. Could you imagine if there's actually a repository of ancient knowledge down there?
Well, if it is, no one can get to it, because just like the Chinese won't allow the grave of the first emperor to be disturbed. All right, they won't allow any further digging under the Sphinx. So.
There you go. Let's invade Egypt and dig under the Sphinx, find out what's in there.
Yeah, and I can tell you the reason why the Chinese won't allow the grave of the first emperor to be dug up, because they knew they was a trap.
I do believe that they do believe there's traps down there, but I don't think that that's the same kind of trap.
Well, no, and it's just interesting that he had predicted that something would be there, and they have shown that there is a cavity in that location. How can somebody just pull that out of their ass? I don't think they can.
Well, I'm sorry, but again, I think a lot of this supernatural stuff, a lot of what he's talking about is basically, we know from other digs there's been cavities, there's been secret chambers. So actually saying there's a secret chamber under a pyramid isn't exactly out there. I mean, so again, what time period did this guy live in?
I think he died in the 1940s.
Yeah, I thought he died right before World War II, right before America joined the war, I believe.
Yeah. Well,
late then. Okay.
Well, let's be honest. They started searching Egyptian tombs and stuff in the late 1800s. So, he could easily have heard something about secret tombs and all this. So, again, a lot of these guesses you fell off your bike when you were a kid. Again, name me a kid who hasn't done that. So I think when it comes, especially to his the people he treated, if we had a list of the names of the people he said he treated medically, saying you have
we have that. We have that. There's the Edgar Casey Institute, where all his predictions are written down and archived. He actually hired a stenographer, who sat down during every session and recorded everything.
He died in 1945.
Yes, and do we have the list of people and what happened to them after they left him?
I'm not sure exactly. I don't want to say either way because I don't know exactly. So,
it would be nice to have a list of him treating people and seeing if they lived or died. That would be the real proof of why he could do what he could do.
What's interesting is how this all started was an accident when he was playing baseball. He got hit in the back of the head, like right around the neck. And then that night he went to sleep and he started to talk in his sleep. But he started to talk not like just, mumbling in your sleep. He actually was giving directions to his parents on how to cure what was wrong with him. And that's how this all started. He was a young kid that just, was playing baseball. He was a normal kid. And he ended up becoming, I don't know, the modern day Nostradamus, it sounds like. I mean, to me at least.
Interesting. I have to give it that. I mean, you know, if he was actually accurate, you kind of got to wonder how the hell he would know how to do this sort of thing. Now, I'm not going to try and push the whole paranormal bit there, but you do kind of have to wonder how the hell he knew what to do.
Yeah, exactly. And to continue with the paranormal theme here that we got for today's show, what do you guys think about the mediums back in the early 1900s, where they would okay, the ectoplasm thing, isn't that weird? Like random fluid, I don't know. It's really even weird to describe. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I'm sorry, Maud, but I can create ectoplasm. It's not a big deal.
I knew someone was going to do that line. Do you know what though? It's actually interesting. It's interesting to note that you don't actually get that much of the whole ectoplasm thing nowadays. I mean, after all, we now have the sort of tech to investigate this sort of shit, and all of a sudden, ectoplasm seems to have gone out of fashion. Interesting, huh?
Yeah, surprising how that happens.
Yeah.
Well,
But
okay, so I'm guessing you're insinuating that they were faking it. How were they faking it then?
How does anybody
Probably
think?
the same way you make slime nowadays.
Diarrhea.
yeah, yeah, that was awesome. Perfect timing.
Diarrhea.
I don't know.
To be honest,
Slimy
if someone started splashing diarrhea all over the table while I was reading the tarot cards, I think I'd have to give them a slap for that. You know, that's a bit beyond the pale at this point.
No, I think I'd have to, rub their face in it and tell them not to do it again.
Bad doggy slap. Yeah. So, funny enough,
Aunt Jack says he's a medium. He also reads minds as well. All right. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. What am I thinking of?
4.
You're lying. You're thinking the number 69, and you know you are.
Actually, he's not thinking of a number at all. It's like beer.
He always wants beer, especially since one of them popped today.
It wasn't popped. I've told you. The ghost infected it with its ectoplasm. Next time he drinks that, Mad's going to start, making sense.
Well,
There's the proof of the supernatural
I
right
also
there.
did a story today on a guy who claimed that the ghosts had actually planted methamphetamine, and that's why the cops were arresting him. So,
wait a minute. Whoa. Wait, Casper put the dope in my pocket? Is that the fucking argument they're making?
He put it on the table. It was planted there by Casper. Casper the high ghost. I tell you what, man, methane must be a hell of a drug. Methamphetamine.
No, dude, I think it was Ghastly. It wasn't Casper, it was Ghastly. He came in and dropped a bag of dope in his pocket.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, that's why I have the bodies in my cellar. It was the ghosts.
Yeah. Somebody call. Is it 911 over there? I don't know what the number is, but
999.
999.
Yeah.
So somebody needs to check out this cellar.
Actually, all right. Just to throw it a bit of a sideways here. We've all watched Lethal Weapon 1, haven't we?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon 4 is my favorite, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, of course it fucking would be.
Are we done?
Wait,
Good.
you want to fight over Lethal Weapon 4? We
We'll
can do
worry
that.
about
Oh
it
my
later.
God! Can we
Go on. Go
can
on.
we let Jensen get to his point?
Yes, I apologize,
you.
Johnson.
No problem. You can argue about it later. I just want to make the point. Did anyone notice the complete balls up that Joe Pesci did in that film when they were going in to raid one of the buildings and he was with them? He ran off going, "Call 999, call 999." Did anyone else spot that?
Nope.
Are you sure you're talking about the first one? Because Joe Pesci didn't appear until movie 2.
Was he in 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In that case, my
Yeah.
apologies for the film number. I'm willing to admit I might have got that wrong, but he actually, instead of shouting out "call 911," he actually says "call 999." Look it up, you'll see it. Because when I spotted it, I'm sitting there going, "Hold up, they're in America. It's not bloody 999 over there."
Well, it will give me an excuse to watch all 4 films again. So.
All right.
Oh,
All right.
I do love the
Sherardi
Christmas
doesn't
movies.
believe in ghosts. Okay, fair enough. MC, how about you? You believe in ghosts?
I believe it's possible, but I haven't seen one, so I don't believe in them. How's that? I don't discount them
Okay.
out of hand, but at the same time, I'm not sure that they exist. There's plenty of people who said that they've seen strange things, and I've heard lots of different stories from people, and I won't discount them out of hand. But then again, I've never seen one, so therefore, I don't know.
No, and that's a fair point. Jensen, what were you gonna say?
So basically, MC, you would say that you was ghost agnostic then, technically.
Yes.
No, that's fair. No, I'm cool with it. I'm not actually taking the piss here, mate. I'm actually being quite serious with that. Okay, cool. So if we could get you proof, you'd be willing to accept the existence thereof.
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Sharati?
Unequivocal proof, like right in front of my face.
Then you'd consider
yes.
the possibility. Okay, all right.
Yeah, but you would just forget about it 20 minutes later.
Probably.
Man, you guys are bad.
I had to. I'm sorry.
You know, I'm just thinking there, Sharati, you should invite people around the next time you have a seizure, say you're connecting with the dead and earn a few £100.
Jeez.
Yeah, she could be like the Oracle at Delphi, right? I mean, you know.
No,
This never ends.
It would be fun to fuck with people until I woke up and realized that I chewed the fuck out of my mouth again and my head was pounded. And like this last time...
Does this rag smell like chloroform?
It's not nap time, honey.
Oh, that nap time spray was hilarious, wasn't it? Though, when it comes to ghosts, okay, I've actually experienced a ghost. I mean, my family are a bit weird like this. We are quite sensitive to that sort of shit. In fact, B is actually very sensitive to this, and my mum was worryingly so. Apparently,
are you saying that B sees things?
Yes.
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, it makes a lot of sense actually.
What more?
Funny, really, because she's just come on.
What more reason for having a harpoon?
Hello, B.
I'm sorry, but you know it's not ghost you're seeing, Jansen. It's your guilt of eating all those people.
I have no guilt. That's just a 5-letter word, sir.
Okay, Jensen.
No.
So
No,
you
he's not
you
guilty.
you have
He's just guilty.
So Jensen, you've seen a ghost before, because I've said it multiple times. There's 3 or 4 different occasions where I have seen not only a full body apparition, but I watched them disappear right in front of my eyes. So I am a believer when it comes to ghosts.
I'm sorry, man. With the amount you drink, you can't be called credible.
Hey, I was
Touche.
sober. Damn it. Maybe that's the problem. It's like,
Were you high?
no, I was looking for people to get drunk.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
stoned with.
Exactly. You were looking.
Yeah, but that means he hadn't actually succeeded at that point.
Or he could already have been drunk and high, and his stories actually didn't happen. It was just in his imagination.
I think you put
It's
too
like
much
when my
credit
husband.
in.
It's like when my husband tries to talk to me when I am tired, and I'm actually talking to him, or at least I think I am, but I'm really just replying in my brain.
Okay.
Are you saying you talk to yourself? Never mind.
Yes,
Moving
actually,
on.
I am.
I prefer to
Jensen.
talk to myself. That way I'm talking to the most intelligent person I know.
Liar.
I would
No.
talk to myself, but me and the other self bail out. So
No, that's actually, that I believe, actually. That I would believe fully, sir.
His other self is drunk all the time. He's pissed off.
Voice is the only person.
So, what did you see, and how old were you?
I was, let's see, I was 12. And basically, back in the 1920s, Britain had the genius idea of using what was called atmospheric railways, where they basically used air pressure to power the trains. Okay. I was actually on one of the old lines that runs near my house, and me and a few people were talking about it. This was just so you know. This at the time I knew nothing about this, but at the edge of my hearing, I could hear this weird sound. Okay, and I know people are going to take the piss, so I'll pause when I've finished describing it. You can all take the piss, and I'll carry on. But it was basically an air sucking sound and sound of like leather slapping on a tube, which a couple of years later I found out was actually how the trains were empowered. So does anyone want to take the piss now, or do I carry on?
did you actually walk into a dominatrix?
Right.
Sounds
good.
like B following you with a Hoover and a belt.
No, do you know, I would understand all of those comments, but no, she wasn't involved in this one.
Well,
And
no, and
basically
real quick before you continue on, B did say in the chat here before Jensen went to the army, I guess your guys' dead grandma told her that you would come home alive.
Yeah.
After knowing what happened to you when you were deployed, that's kind of crazy.
Like I said, my whole family are very sensitive to this sort of shit, mate. I don't bring it up too often, but yeah, we've all got a certain something when it comes to spotting that sort of shit. And yeah, you can take the piss, but I'm actually being very serious with you. Anyway, back to my ghost thing. We're standing at this tunnel, okay? It's all blocked off, a huge motherfucking iron gate, well, doorway blocking it. You cannot see through it. It's not grills or anything like that. It's a solid iron doorway there. And I'm hearing this noise, and it sounded like it was getting closer. Me and my friends were getting a bit freaked out at the time. And then literally through the big ass iron door, again, making sure it's clear, you could not see through this door. It was completely solid. There was a white light, and we could clearly hear the sound of a fucking train coming towards us. 2 years later, I found out that on that line there is a train that had an accident and was buried in the tunnel, and it used to travel along that track. So that's one of my very close encounters to a ghost. Unfortunately, and this is the bit that's slightly embarrassing, I bottled out and ran. I didn't stay around to see it, and that disappoints me so very much. And now everyone goes silent.
No, sorry, I was plugging in my phone. No, that's really interesting. It kind of reminds me of the ghost car story, right? So almost in any small town in America, you have this idea of the vanishing car, right? You've heard of that
Yeah.
before.
Oh God, yeah.
That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Well, I mean, obviously, right. I haven't seen the next one I'm going to point out, but you've got various haunted animals that are supposed to be seen. I believe in Northern Ireland also gets them as well. It's basically a hellhound, for want of a better. Huge black dog, glowing red eyes. Some people it saves, some people it eats. So I don't know if Voice can drop any further information on this. Can you, mate?
Yeah, that is actually true. I even remember stories of my grandmother used to speak about uh, people coming up to a black dog in the middle of the night. Usually, it was after they had played poker with the Joker in the pack, or they had been drinking or doing something, quote unquote sinful, and then they would meet it on the way home. And usually it was just an omen. They would see the dog, and then sometime the next day to week, something bad would happen to them. That's the sort of story we hear over here.
Yeah, isn't the black dog kind of an omen of death, in a way?
Not always. That's what I'm saying. There have actually been accounts of it actually helping people that are like lost out in the. For over here, it's usually over in the moors, in basically the Lake District and stuff like that. Sometimes it actually will help people, lead them out the moors, get them onto a main road and let them go. Others, well, yeah, sometimes their bodies get found, sometimes they're not.
What makes the black dog story different from the werewolf myth?
Well, no one gets bitten and changed into a werewolf.
Here's a subtle clue.
Well, no. Okay, there's a reason I asked that, because in some tales, the dog can transform, right? In some of the stories about the black dog or whatever.
The problem is that might be a crossover in stories, because there are so many goddamn stories involving weird animals, and I know we sit there and take the piss out of you with the whole Bigfoot thing, but even that could be a story that's a crossover from several other things. But generally, the black dog that Voice and I are talking about stays in dog form. The only thing that's particularly supernatural about it is sometimes the saliva is supposed to have a slightly luminous glow, and its eyes usually glow red.
I would also say about the black dog, it's not really an omen of death. There's a moral guideline here. As Jansen says, there are times when it'll help people. It's basically that if the person is evil, it'll be how the black dog interacts with you. Some people who saw the black dog maybe, break a finger or something, or have something, if they were a gambler, they'll have something to do with the gambling that'll make their life worse, and they'll learn something from it. Basically, the black dog is, would you say it's a sort of a moral compass animal, Jansen?
Yeah. You started to say something, Mad?
No, MC. It looked like started to say something. What was that, MC?
Sounds like a guide.
Yeah.
Always a guide. Whether the guide is to guide you to a better path, or whether the guide is to, guide you back toward righteousness, it's still a guide.
Yeah.
So, what do you mean by guide, though? Almost like a spirit animal, or are you talking like a
Sounds
Native
like
American
that's
type myth?
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, it's not really a spirit animal because anybody can see it, whereas spirit animals are more of a realm of the Native American people.
Well, in the Native American, they consider you have a spirit animal as part of you, all right. But that doesn't mean that this couldn't be a guide-like spirit type of animal. It's just that it isn't personal.
Yes, MC, but how much interaction do you think the Native Americans and people in Northern Ireland had, a couple of hundred years ago?
Lots. They hung out all the time, man.
No, I just think it is.
They would just hop into spaceships, and they'd kind of stop in Iceland and powwow for a while.
Shh. You're not aware of the secrets. Shh. No, but I do think it's interesting that wherever you go in the world, even before we had really started trading with each other throughout the millennia and stuff, these origin stories, you could have them. I mean, you the vampires and every one, the dogs, the people changing into animals and stuff. Like I think it is nice that even groups who were isolated from each other came up with the same sort of supernatural imaginings. I think that is very. It does make up. Maybe there was something because we did all see it, even if when we weren't connected.
Well, I think that one of the things is I don't think. All right, this like with dinosaurs and things like that. I think that we don't know.
Are you saying dinosaurs aren't real? You're going to break my daughter's heart.
I'm not saying dinosaurs aren't real. I'm saying that it's very likely that some of them lived into a larger age, and that's part of our historic memory.
Are you saying there were dinosaurs that were...
No, right?
MP, are you saying that dinosaurs were preppers?
Maybe a couple of them were. A couple said, "You know what? There's a rock coming, guys. You guys haven't heard the lessons yet. The rock is coming. You're ignoring it. You see that guy with the boat? He told you a rock was coming."
Yeah, okay, but here's the thing, though. I think Voice is on something here. So all around the world, you have the same type of myths being propagated. MC, are you saying that's because maybe some of the prehistoric animals continued on into our early history, and that's where the myth comes from?
That's where some of
it. Or do you think there's something actually here?
I think that's where some of it comes from. Okay. I do believe that there's not just one answer to this. I think there's multiple answers, and I do think that some creatures that were part of the prehistoric age that we've assigned into the prehistoric age did survive. All right, into at least to where they were around when mankind was around.
You mean like sharks and alligators and crocodiles and the like?
Well, I think that some of the larger lizards were around. I think that some of the myths when the people talk about dragons, that's where a lot of that comes from.
Well, yeah, and here in the Americas, some of the mammoths might have been around later than they actually thought, right? I mean,
right. Well, it would be impossible to know.
Yeah, and you don't have a massive extinction all at once. They don't all just disappear at once. You know what I mean?
How do you know? They might have all, a bit like that Jonestown, they could have all committed suicide.
They're just bounding around. Da, la, da, la, da. Oh, my God.
MC, why'd you use your space rocks on the dinosaurs?
Hang on. Maybe we have something here. Maybe it was the aliens, because remember, aliens like MacDogs as well. So,
Well, that could be it. You know what? They were always come to Earth, grabbing a few of them, all right, and they're placing them into the galactic zoo. to make sure that they always existed for all
No,
alien
we
kind.
are. No, MC, you're wrong. We are the galactic zoo. All right, we're like a national forest, right?
If we're
They
anything,
just sit around, watch us, point and laugh.
Hey, Farty.
if we're anything to the aliens, we're freaking a comedy channel.
Did you really just tell MC that he was wrong?
MC's always wrong.
Hey, Fatty.
All right.
Hello.
We're on ghosts and the paranormal. I'm glad you're here because maybe you can start talking about the bunyip.
yeah,
Well,
the bunyips.
Yeah, well, as long as you keep your drop bears to yourself, sir. We don't need their kind around here.
No, you see, we tell you about the drop bears so you don't worry about the bunyips. Now, bunyips are these dragon-like creatures that live around fucking these dried up riverbeds called billabongs. Yeah, you don't go anywhere near those cunts. They make bloody drop bears look tame.
Hey, as long as it's not a water buffalo, those guys are fucking assholes.
Okay, then.
These fucking things eat water buffaloes.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Well, they do know that that some of the prehistoric like terror birds existed simultaneously with the Native Americans or the Native Australians rather.
Oh, do you think that's the Thunderbird myth out of North America? I
don't know. I mean,
it was like a pterodactyl, pretty much. In
Latin America, there were huge birds as well that were also considered a type of terror bird. So it could have come from there. But they do know that there were flightless birds, big, huge flightless birds that ate meat. All right, at the same time that the land bridge allowed for the first settling of man on the Australian continent.
Well, that's funny because the Abbos seem to leave that one out of the Dreamtime stories. The Dreamtime story is basically a word of mouth, historical fucking. Yeah, it sounds really wacky, and they do sound like they were on some great LSD when they were regaling them during the 70s because there's this thing called a rainbow serpent that was supposed to have slithered across the country and made rivers and shit.
Well, no, Farty, dude, come on, let's share the peace pipe, brother, and talk about the terror birds. It'll be great.
Nah, out here, it's not a peace pipe, butter. It's a fucking flagon of woomera. A goon bag, mate. Fucking box wine.
Oh my god, boxed wine. That's some basic bitch shit right there.
Oh, no. They get even basicer than that. Hey, you go down the petrol station, buddy, get yourself a litre of petrol, mate. Go huff that all afternoon, yeah, butter.
Are you even speaking English anymore? What the
fuck? That's how they speak. That's how they speak. Hey,
I understood every word he said.
Abbo's huffing petrol has got so bad that BP actually makes a scentless petrol version of unleaded, but just for the Northern Territory.
You motherfuckers are huffing gasoline?
Yeah.
Like, dude, just smoke a bowl. Like, calm the fuck down.
Hey, B.
Hello.
Hi, B.
Hello.
All right, B, I want to hear about this frozen car. What's going on?
Okay, so I had this is a few years ago, I had this dream where I was trapped in snow inside this car and I couldn't get out. And so to survive, what I did was like put my body into hibernation and I slept through most of it. And I would eat the condensation that formed in icicles inside the car, and I thought nothing of it at the time, and then it must have been about 2 weeks later there was a news story about some guy who crashed into some sort of snowdrift.
I remember this now, yeah.
To survive, he slept in his car and he survived on the icicles that formed from the condensation.
Wait, so while you were asleep, you pretty much jumped into this guy's body? Is that what's going on here?
Do you know what? When I was in the dream, I definitely sense that I was male. I don't know how to explain that. I just sort of felt male. But yeah, I dream about other people's lives.
I told you, our whole family's weird.
Like, all right. You felt that you were male. Did you like reach down and scratch your nuts?
It's.
I know I had to be. I had to.
I know what you're saying. I mean, there wasn't like, because you don't really look at yourself. It was just stuck inside this car. So I don't know how to explain it. It's just a feeling.
So where was this dude like trapped in his car? Like, was it in the middle of nowhere, or was it like near civilization? Because like the first thing I'd think of is beat the bloody horn.
I think it was Sweden or somewhere up
Oh,
near
that
there.
explains everything.
Wait, how does that explain everything? What am
They're
I
wogs.
missing here?
Fucking stupid wogs.
You racist, Aussie. Okay.
I do remember hearing a story of a Yank. It was a couple of years ago. He was a snowplow driver, and he thought it'd be funny to just go fucking plowing through this snowdrift on the side of the road. And it turns out there was like someone's Mercedes under all the snow, and he didn't see it. He fucking totaled it.
Okay, so in the chat, Oz says she sounds like a psychic radio receiver. Yeah, what do you think about that, B? Are you like a psychic radio receiver, or was this like a premonition? Because there's been a time or two where I've had a dream that came true. So, and that would be like a premonition type dream, right? So
I predicted challenge about 10 seconds before it happened. I thought, wouldn't it be funny? Yeah, I thought, wouldn't it? Yeah, no, it was. I thought, wouldn't it be funny if this fucking thing blew up? Whoops.
Oh my god. I think it was on Pete's channel, Creepy Little Book. They were talking about that the other night themselves, and somebody had said that exact same thing. They were in school, and they're like, "Oh, it would be funny if it blew up," and then it blew up, and they're like, "Oh fuck."
Well,
I'm laughing now.
yeah, like damn.
Actually, I did have something similar to that. When I was in school, we had this science teacher, and she was just this horrible, horrible dragon, and she'd make us sit in alphabetical order and not with like our friends, and it was just a really horrible class. And I only had her for 1 year.
Shouldn't say dragon, then memes will show up.
Well, I only had her for 1 year, and at the beginning of the year, she was just so awful. I wished that she'd fall down the stairs and break her neck, like you do. And a few days later, she actually fell down the stairs and broke a whole bunch of bones and was out for the entire year.
I'm sorry, Pete, but is this you admitting you pushed her?
Nowhere near.
No, she didn't push her. She just sprayed the stairs with Pam.
She came back on the final day of school, and halfway through the lesson, they let us go early for revision. So it was like a win-win.
So you didn't have anything to do with a teacher accidentally falling down a set of stairs so you could get a half day.
I just wished it.
I think B's misconstruing the word premonition with planning.
You really didn't like this bitch, Chomby.
It's called a plot.
And remember, Maud, you're the one who wants to fight B.
Yep.
Oh, I'm not scared of her.
Right.
Not while you're in Oregon, no.
You're not scared of
If
somebody.
she's as psychic If she's as psychic as you people are letting on, and you are as afraid of her as you were letting on the other day when Jensen
shut up,
let
woman.
on that Oz was going to,
I'm just saying, Maud.
and Jensen, and
I'm just saying, Maud. If Our Lady B here has a premonition of your car exploding, start to walk everywhere.
She's not Irish.
Yes,
Actually, I am.
my battery.
Fiddly-dee-fiddly-da. Dee-da. Oh, yeah.
yes, potato.
Potato.
Jensen, you have my back, right?
Let's see.
Now I'm worried.
You
Good
have my
choice.
back? Does he have your back, or does he have the camera to watch?
Yes.
I put it like this,
My
Maud.
channel will go up by thousands.
I'll put it like this, Maud. Jensen doesn't have your back because the last time he pissed his sister off, well, let's just say he had an unpleasant incident in a foreign country.
This is also true.
Well,
So how safe you feeling now, Mad? Feeling good, mate? No.
I'm a little nervous, but you know, it's all
How
good.
to influence friends.
I don't have to worry because B has to take a number and get in line.
Yes, Oz is going to kidnap the Quins and the Quins' significant other and bring them over to America.
Don't do
And-
that. That makes me even more nervous.
In fact, you know, let's. I have a new idea here. Let's not have a GoFundMe for Harpoon. Let's have a GoFundMe to send B to America, to Portland.
Cabby in the chat says a couple cans of bug spray, problem solved. Yeah.
Are we still doing Learn to Code, Cabby?
No.
Well, it's like this, B. Do you see him in here?
Oh.
Good point.
Harsh.
It's funny because it's true.
See, he hasn't figured this out yet because Hangouts hates him just like everyone else.
Did you know
Wait, does everybody else hate Hangouts or does everybody hate Cabby?
We don't hate Cabby. He's actually a really nice guy.
He's a
Only
lovely
everyone at Google hates him.
Could you sound any more sarcastic, Jensen?
Probably not. I tried, guys. Come on.
All right, so after B murders me, I'm gonna haunt you. That's what's going on.
That's okay. Once she's murdered you, you come into my realm. I told you there's a reason I like my name.
Well,
No, we'll just
Says tune up.
we'll just get a Catholic priest to exercise your ghost dodge. That's all right. I can do that. I'm too old for him.
You know,
Me?
I'm actually ordained,
I'm
man.
gonna code you
So
out of
yeah,
existence.
keep fucking around, Cabby, and I'm gonna marry you and B right now.
No, you're kidding me. No, I'm gonna code her out of the Matrix. She's gonna be glitch.
Cabby would make a wonderful wife. Now make me a sandwich.
Now, marry him to memes. Marry him to memes.
And technically, Dodge, you fighting me, wouldn't that count as suicide? So you wouldn't get a Catholic funeral?
I don't know. Getting murdered by a Protestant though can't be good, right?
Here, let me get my Bible.
Careful, don't let it burn you.
God said to me the other day, he said, Eugene, Eugene, let there be light. And I turned on a light switch.
See, I don't have to do that. Alexa, lamp off.
Alexa, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that shit actually works over the phone.
Yeah, it does. If I were wearing headphones.
Alexa, vote for Biden.
That even creeped Alexa out.
Oh, Creepy Joe. Don't get me started on Creepy Joe.
Alexa, what's your opinion on Joe Biden?
Hashtag me too.
What did it
Pound
say?
me too. Pound me too.
MC wants to get pounded, Jensen. Handle it.
He's a lot closer to you than me, dude. Have fun.
Don't forget the ridged condom so you can get traction in the mud.
Oh God. Okay. All right. We did have a topic at one point.
Yes, the supernatural.
Yeah, I thought it was about B and oddness.
Kicking your ass verbally?
Not at all. How? When? When did this happen? I think I just coded
Weren't you supposed to make her a sandwich?
No. Suggestion has got nothing to do with being. What are you talking about? Are you drunk? You must be somehow. I don't know. You're high.
Are you drunk?
Oh, honey, I don't get high.
Well, there's something wrong. You might want to check for another lesion or something. Good.
Legion.
Yeah.
Cabby, turn your volume up a little bit, will
A
you?
legion.
Brain lesion. A lesion. Yeah.
Learn how to speak English.
Turn your volume up or
How about you
enunciate.
turn your fucking speakers up?
Everyone's telling you to turn your fucking
Yes,
volume
and
up.
they can all go fuck themselves.
Oh.
Applies to everyone.
I mean, like, it's one thing not to know how to code. It's another thing not how to know how to turn up your volume.
Yeah.
To turn it up, I just choose not to. It seems to be annoying you all, so it's a result. It's all a winner.
Are you French?
No, what do you mean? When was the French ever won anything? That doesn't even make any sense. French winning something? Are you mental?
I think he was saying the French are annoying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but so are Americans.
God damn.
Unless you're saying Americans are French now, is this the logical flow that we're going down?
Is it?
Apparently. I don't know. I didn't start this one. This is somebody else's little rabbit hole. But
Okay.
you know.
All right.
What the hell? Come on, Alice. Let's go down.
Cabby, do you believe in ghosts?
Oh, sugar, I'm not near as crazy as Alice was.
No, I don't believe it goes.
Right. Okay. Hold up, Cabby. Is it you don't believe in them, or you just don't believe in them because you haven't seen one?
No, I just don't believe in them because they make absolutely no logical sense. I mean, if the people really did come back that often, why are they always in Victorian dress usually? Right? Because apparently nobody died since Victorian.
Because they've got style, Cabby.
Well,
What I like is he doesn't believe in ghosts, but he does entertain the 9/11 truth of bullshit.
No. I just say that there are definitely a few queries that need to be, about what the government got up to that day in terms of competency. I'm more worried about competency.
Well, why don't you just ask AMC for the truth then?
He won't tell me what he was up to on that day. He'll give me two different timelines, just like McCain did, right?
He was too busy blaming ghosts.
There you go.
Great.
So,
He won't say what he was doing on 9/11.
but
He was busy with, a box cutter and an airplane.
I was in a training class.
also, Every single hospital should be absolutely flooded with fucking ghosts. Every hospital should have them wandering around, just getting in the way.
Well, they are. Haven't you seen like the freaking ghost hunter shit where they go to the asylums and stuff? They are flooded with ghosts, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, apparently only after that everyone's left. I mean, why aren't the ghosts there during when
the
everyone's
ghosts
actually
like their privacy, Cabby.
Oh, really? So then why are they showing themselves?
Yes, Cabby. The ghosts are libertarians.
Yeah.
Yeah, taxation is.
They only came back to find out what's happened to my roads. That's their motivation for coming back, right, from the death.
There's this Sheila radio announcer on Today FM, or it used to be Today FM, now it's Kiss FM, Jackie O. And she claims that she's been fucked by a ghost while she's been in bed.
Oh,
and I'm sort of thinking,
talk about this bitch.
Oh my god, is she trying to hashtag me too?
Let's talk about this.
Hashtag me too.
Let's be honest though, that's called rohypnol.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking she's had a wet dream.
All right, so who he's talking about is this Irish cunt who married a ghost? Okay, why the fuck are you allowed to even marry a figment of your imagination?
Because mental illness is now.
Because
California. Yeah, because mental illness is now, is now a form of validation.
California's in Ireland. This bitch was Irish, all right, like Southern Ireland.
I'm not accepting that. No.
She's so Irish, she didn't know where she lived.
Wait, she was just drunk, right? That makes sense. It's all right.
Yeah, no, she went on the world's biggest pub crawl and ended up in California.
Yeah, just leave.
Well, they are Irish. That's how they got over there to begin with.
No. I'm sorry, but just like the blacks, we were kidnapped and taken there on boats. Yes.
That's how it happened, huh?
Yeah.
We was kangs.
Hang on, does that mean is there an Irish version of Wakanda somewhere? Holy shit, I'd love to see that.
Irish
Wakanda. It's not hard to find. It's called the pub.
Well, it's just get in line with the rest of the Commonwealth and say you just shipped out all the fuckwits you didn't want.
Well, no, that's what we did when we created Australia.
Oh, now you're in a part of the UK, right?
Yes, because I'm both. I can choose which side I'm on depending on the argument.
I'll see you bye.
Yep.
Well, no, we have Aunt Jack in the chat saying, just imagine Joe Biden's ghost hanging out in the ladies' room. That would be some creepy shit, all right?
Why would you imagine his ghost, man? That's what he's doing now.
Yeah.
Well, he's just being a laxative. Makes the women shit themselves.
Oh.
Hang on, can you sniff ghosts?
Actually, yes.
It's not,
yes, there's actually supposed
you can sniff the ghost. Can the ghost sniff you?
Now you're going to give Keith Richards a fucking idea.
No. I didn't know Biden expected to be sniffed in return.
Oh.
What were you saying, Johnson?
Actually, there are several reported cases of scents that are actually being picked up with the sound of footsteps and stuff like that. So technically, yes, some of the ghosts you can actually smell.
Yeah, I can see that now.
Let me guess.
I heard this disembodied noise, and then I smelt a smell.
Yeah. And if it was perfume, I bet you it was something like violets, right? Again, it'll be like some old Victorian fucking concoction. It's not going to be, oh yeah, I smell, Chanel or something.
Actually, Cabby, it's usually cigar smoke or perfume.
Mambo number 5.
Stuff like that. That people actually smell. It comes from a residual haunting, which is kind of like a movie being played in the background on repeat. Like it's a loop of an event that happened. It's not a active, intelligent haunting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's only because they can't update their projectors yet.
Smell has become sentient now. We now have sentient smells. They're independent of their owner. Smells can just go off and live their own personal life.
Well, let's be honest. If we're saying ghosts smell, then ghosts are all French.
Are you not
It wouldn't be a good smell
what
then.
are you not understanding what I'm talking about though, Cabby?
Oh,
A residual haunting versus an
I understand.
intelligent
Yeah,
one.
yeah, but it means that the scent is autonomous. It's separate from the person, right? So
I'm just glad that fucking sounds don't have a universal smell that goes with them. Could you imagine being stuck behind a Harley Davidson if that was the case?
What? No American actually stood up for Harley? I am shocked.
No, they're all too outraged to speak.
I'm playing a video game. I don't fucking care right now.
Good to know.
I don't know. What do you think, Jensen? The difference between a residual haunting versus an intelligent one. And since unlike Cabby here, who's a fucking non-believing fucking shithead, you actually believe. So, what do you think?
God either.
In all fairness, there are supposed to be several well-recorded areas where there are residue haunting. I'm using the term haunting, not ghost specific here, where people are actually able to see scenes where they, no matter what they do, they can't interact with it. Where most ghosts actually are more interactive, whether it be through telekinesis or literally running straight at you, trying to rip your face off, etc.
I thought telekinesis was a poltergeist.
Like a poltergeist, right? Where they're throwing your furniture around the house.
Yeah, that's a different.
I think there was something brought up earlier on, and I've been thinking about it for a wee while now. And I have to say, I think the reason why ghosts aren't seen very well and hauntings and stuff, I think it's because we know that people are different when it comes to their brain. You know, the not physiological. You know, there are people who have might have a higher, a part of their brain that's working a little bit harder than the others. You know, Jansen being able to be more in tune with that could be the reason why, there you have individuals who can feel the energies better than others. So it could be that there are, for not to say ghosts, but there are memories, of people.
Yeah.
Some people are able to connect with them and some aren't.
Well, like I say, I mean, if you look around, look at Britain. There's not a single. If you go to most parts of Britain, there've been significant battles that have occurred. I mean, thousands of people who. Most people say that, oh well, people come back, during trauma. The whole of our bloody. But we should be able to go out onto any field, and it should be full of, people who have fallen and, in the medieval times or going back beyond that. And by the way, why is there never any Bronze Age? Why do you never see a Bronze Age?
Put science behind that. The reason why you get more sightings and stuff inside houses and stuff is because if you're a supernatural form, you need energy to be able to do things, and there's no energy out in the middle of a fucking field.
All right, so they're nicking the lecky as well.
Well, yeah,
cheeky
but
bastards.
they can use the body energy of people and surroundings, to help, make an impression. But there's nothing in a field to be able to draw on.
No,
he's
cows.
right.
Big cows. Cows have got plenty of it. Look at them. I mean, they're a lot bigger than us.
Oh, yes. What message would a ghost have for a cow?
Who knows? They're bored. They're sitting out there all fucking day and night. They've got nobody to talk to. Maybe they learned how to speak cow. I mean, we're talking bollocks anyway. Just throw that in.
Cows with guns.
Cow? What the fuck, dude?
Scrawny little calf. Looked kind of woozy. No one suspected he was packing an Uzi.
Jesus Christ.
Okay,
Haven't you guys ever heard that?
I don't think ghosts learn how to speak cow, Cabby.
Well, you see, that's just a wild assumption. I mean, I'm sure somebody has recorded it somewhere. There'll be some.
Well, considering we don't even want to learn cow, why the fuck would a ghost?
Oh, ghosts got fuck all else to do, apparently. So they just wander around, just going, you know, if they well, they started off going woo, so it's not a big exact move to go moo instead, is it? So they just doubled their diction.
God damn
Oh,
it.
dear.
Oh my god.
And just so you know, Voice is actually correct with what he was saying about ghosts are more prevalent around other people because they do some sort of energy. And before you
Yeah.
start with the nicking the electric, actually that is true. They do actually drain batteries and things like that to empower themselves. So you know,
all the more
Voice
reason we
was
should get rid
right.
of them. Okay. Well, let's go for the original Ghostbusters, not that horrible fiasco that they tried to remake. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but it's just, you know, like I said, well, what about all the hospitals? So much energy there, so many deaths. The mortuary should be absolutely packed with people.
Yes, but no
No.
one's going to see them, Cabby, because you think of what goes on in a hospital. Everybody's moving about all throughout the day. You know, a ghost
Yeah,
could show
lots
up
of
and no
energy.
one would notice. You know, there's so much anguish and
What?
stuff in a hospital that, you know, I'm sure the
Oh,
reason
please.
you don't see a lot of ghosts is because why would a ghost infringe when someone's already in pain?
Not everyone in hospital is there to die. I mean, there's just people who go in to have their appendix done, or you know, to have
And
the
they
tonsils
die.
out. Yeah, but but I'm saying that the majority of people who are in hospital are not there for some terminal illness.
Doesn't mean they won't
All
die.
right. I'm looking at the chat here. Aunt Jack says Korean ghosts are hotter than
Can you
English.
pronounce anyone's name correctly?
No, Sharardi, shut up.
His name is Ain't Jack. Just like
Ain't
my
Like-
name is Sharati.
Your name
Okay,
is Shut
Shetty.
Up, Woman. That's your name.
Shay Ratey.
It's Sheffy.
Matter of fact, I'm changing your name in fucking Discord right now.
Oh dear, here we go.
Good.
So-
you do
so what did
that.
I-
Then I'll tell your wife to change your name to what I was going or what she was going to change it to.
So what did Auntie Jack say?
Bad news there, Sharati. No one can actually change Mad's name.
No.
Only he can.
Except I'm sure she knows his
Oh yeah,
Password.
yeah, that'd do it.
Now she won't because I'm changing it. Fuck around.
Good man.
But no, okay, so Korean ghosts are hotter. Okay. Why does that matter? Are you fucking ghosts? Like
Necrophilia's best, boys.
I'm sorry, I have seen Japanese ghosts. Yeah, no. The whole huge long face thing, no.
Well, what's the point on fucking a ghost? It'd be like rooting a Sheila that's so loose, it'd be like yelling down an alleyway.
Exactly. There's nothing to be gained from it.
You can't feel it.
Yeah.
They're
And by
transparent,
the way,
remember?
Cabby, the point you were
Hello.
making about poltergeist, you do know what poltergeist actually means, don't you?
I don't know. Some
Angry
of the
spirit?
an imaginary
No.
thing that throws shit around.
It means noisy ghost.
Yeah.
It's just
Well.
a ghost that's actually learnt how to manipulate things in the
So it's
real
one who
world.
learns how to win woo or moo.
who,
Right.
who let you
It's a
change
woo
your
or a
name
moo.
again? God damn it. I'm taking that away.
Aww.
It's a wooer or a mooer.
So what, Casper's supposed to be a poltergeist then? Because he can speak and shit, making noises.
Yeah. And also, he moves things around, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Casper,
definitely a
the friendly
poltergeist.
poltergeist.
Nothing bad will come of this. Okay, so sorry. I just find it also silly.
Hi,
The thing
I'm
is-
Casper. I'm gonna swallow your soul.
Thank you for sending that to me, Oz. Cheers, mate. I'll check that out later.
But no, poltergeist doesn't mean noisy spirit. Okay, so how would you react, Cabby, if some fucking, like you showed up at your house one day and suddenly all your dishes are all over the floor, the chairs are piled in a fucking heap in the corner, and
Say
it
someone
looks
clean.
like, yeah, it looks like somebody went insane.
Shit,
Nice
someone's
one.
robbed me. They've been cleaned.
The maid's been in again.
Fuck.
That bitch, I told her not to turn up. She's fired.
That's it, Consuelo. You're going back to fucking Mexico. Oh, no, senor.
You need more witness.
No, not without the lemon pledge.
Well, no, and Cabby should be happy he's not in Australia, because then there'd be a gigantic fucking spider on top of the fucking pile of chairs.
That's why there's a pile of chairs and it gets left the fuck alone.
The dingoes have souls.
I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, no, some of those spiders you have over there, like, fuck that shit, dude. Like, no, thank you. I'm good. I'm staying over here.
Well, that's why my place is a mess. There's a fucking redback under the pile, and I'm not fucking going anywhere near that cunt.
What the fuck is a redback?
It's
Just
like
jump
a
up
black
and down
widow,
on
but
it.
it's got a big red stripe down the back of it.
Just jump up and down on the
Buffalo's
pile
more
before you
dangerous than a
touch
black
it.
widow.
And they
Okay.
fucking hide. They'll actually hide underneath the dunny seat, and they'll bite you on the ass if you don't watch out.
Okay.
It's Australia. Everything doesn't. You see, even your toilets fucking kill you
Yeah.
indirectly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, you can't say that because, our Aussie friend isn't dead yet, so it mustn't be that very deadly.
Yeah, but
that's
he's
just because I'm a fucking hard cunt. That's why.
If we hear
They've learned to adapt.
on Mod's channel we're going through an Aussie every other week, there'd be, some proof
Well,
to
why
that
do you think
claim.
we
you
have
know.
Oh, yeah.
2 as a backup in his server?
But you see, that's the thing. He just come back and chat to us, right? Because Ghost is real, and he'll just hijack somebody's, computer and come on again, and we'll be talking to his ghost. We'll be having a séance. Wouldn't that be fun?
Actually, the thing that Fart is not actually admitting to people was he was actually bitten by a redback, and after 3 weeks of screaming agony, the spider died.
Yeah, that's an old joke. Usually involves a wife.
No, you see, like they fucking bite me, they'll get drunk. That's all.
Yeah, because all you people fucking drink with the exception of voice.
Well, that's how you survive out here, darling. You can't fucking survive sane and sober. You gotta do it drunk or you go mad.
Exactly. If you didn't get drunk, you wouldn't be worth getting out of bed. It'd be like, fuck it, what's the point? I'm going to be dead by noon anyway.
I'm trying to find it.
I feel bad for people that don't drink. When they wake up in the morning, that's as good as they're going to feel all day. And it's sad.
And they're usually really boring cunts whose, stories usually end up with, and then we went home. Fucking, I'm trying to find it. I did see a story that there's some outrage because someone went and attacked a kangaroo with a lump of wood. I'm trying to find it.
That's always stupid. Kangaroos are fucking tough bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kangaroos are bitches, all right?
You don't want to fuck with a kangaroo.
And then you got emus and ostriches.
Well, I can tell you this, 40. There was an American chap who tried to attack Bigfoot with a piece of wood, but it didn't come from any tree.
There's a joke like that. This hunter.
You say the Sasquatch has got a Me Too movement going as well.
I did not have Bigfoot on the casting couch.
Yes, you did.
No, you
Hey,
had him on the bed.
I've seen Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah, there's this hunter. He went bear hunting once, and he's 30-odd six rifle, and he's fucking seen this bear, and he's fucking pulled the trigger, and he's missed. And the bear fucking chases after him and grabs him. The bear says to the hunter, "I'll give you 2 options. I'll either eat ya, or you let me fuck you in the ass, and I'll let you go." Well, the guy didn't want to die, so he pulls his pants down and lets the bear fuck him. Anyway, bit pissed off. He's thinking, the hunter's thinking, oh, I've got to get this little fucking asshole. I know, I'll get some fucking hand grenades. That'll fucking fix him. So he goes back, he finds the bear, and he's throwing this bloody hand grenade, but it bounces off a tree and lands fucking all the way to Buggery and detonates safely, and the bear chases after him again. He grabs him. I'll give you two options. Yeah, I'll eat you, or you let me fuck you, and then I'll let you go. So, of course, he didn't want to die, so he instantly drops his trousers. Anyway, so this hunter's thinking, fuck it, I've got to get this fucking bear. I've got to get my fucking respect and all this manhood back and all this shit. So he gets a fucking rocket launcher. Anyway, so he finds the bear, he fires the rocket launcher, and he fucking misses, and the thing goes flying off the Buggery and detonates harmlessly. The bear starts chasing after him, grabs him again. He goes, hey, mate, you don't come here for the hunting, do you?
That's a fucked up picnic basket. But anyway, moving on.
Damn it, I can't tell my fucking story. Oh, anyway, doesn't matter.
But okay. So we've been talking about the paranormal for going on 2 hours now. All right. Fair point, Cabby. There would be ghosts up the ass, right? Like everywhere you go, there would be fucking ghosts. Why isn't there? Maybe it's because people aren't open to seeing them. Could that be it?
Well, I mean, what do you think is more likely? It's because of some psychic connection, or just the fact they don't exist? I mean, which one's more likely? You know, using a little bit of
I have
common
seen.
sense.
I've
Why
seen
is it the
apparition.
ghost stories?
Well, again, it's like God, Cabby. There's
Real.
no proof for either, so you can't make the claim that one is more likely than the other.
Yeah, but most of the ghost stories that you see which come out, right, they're all relatively contemporary. Like I say, why don't you see Bronze Age one, or a Stone Age one? It's always, like I said, from a very specific period, and that's because that's when most of the ghost stories were written.
No,
So when the UFOs started being seen and stuff, that was like at the time when Jules Verne and
no, there was UFO stories long before Area 51. I'm sorry, no.
Well, people were saying about, I mean, there's Indians and things who had their mythology about, people coming down from the sky and stuff, but that's because that's all they had to work with. I mean,
well, that's because of aliens.
They didn't have TV.
Well, here's another option.
To make up stories.
Well, real quick. Oz in the chat says, or maybe the Brits don't have souls. Yeah, maybe that's
What do you mean?
No, sorry, Oz. Once again,
It's
that's
more likely the Irish don't have souls. The Brits are
Well.
just cunts.
The ginger ones. But no,
They'd be the Scots.
no, but that's the thing. Most of the ghost stories are usually, or like the traditional ones, they're always based out of some castle in England or Wales or Scotland or something.
no.
Macbeth.
The castle of Robert Bruce, where there are some horrible, headless ghosts.
We haven't brought up the topic of shadow people, which I originally wanted to roll with. But I saw that was the first apparition I ever saw, and I was a kid in an apartment complex. Like,
how much have you had? Come on, admit it. You just tried mushrooms for the first time.
no, I was 8 years old, I believe.
Did you eat a little bit of paper that was cut into little tiny squares and that was sitting at that table?
No.
Oh, he did not have any acid.
He had a tab.
Well,
It was blotting paper.
Here's another option for you. Like most normal people, I'm in the same category as this. Like, we don't really believe in ghosts, but we'll admit to seeing shit that we can't explain and don't particularly care to do so because we can't begin to.
Yeah, but I mean, if you see a shimmering person standing in front of you in Victorian dress or something, it's hard to, deny that. I mean, but you just don't see it. I mean, you have a lot of people who claim to have seen it.
Well, yeah,
but like I said, the evidence is just not there.
Don't see it.
Well, I've mentioned this story a couple of times already, but the one out of Belangolo, where me and this other bloke were walking across a field and we were on a tactical exercise. No cunt should have been wearing a white shirt, but there was this tree had fallen over. Like way before this, had been felled ages before this, and there was a white figure, looked like a white T-shirt, just sort of moving across this thing. It wasn't making steps or bouncing up and down or anything like that. It was just moving like it was gliding. And I said to the other bloke, "Hey, did you see that?" And he goes, "Yeah, I did." And we actually went and do a fucking flanking maneuver on the fucking thing, and it wasn't there when we got there. I don't know what it was. I'm not going to say it's a ghost, but it was Belangolo National Park, right where the backpacker murders happened.
Yeah, so it's one person. I mean, like one entity, but there should have been thousands of them all over the place. But apparently, even if you're susceptible to seeing them, you can only see them one at a time, or maybe a couple. Right? It just doesn't make any sense. Well, even if the people are meant to be so tuned in, it's like, oh, I can hear a noise. Oh, look, somebody, a bucket turned over or something in the background. Let's go running down this corridor. Oh, how exciting. It's bollocks. It's tedious bollocks.
Yeah, and when people say that they heard floorboards moving, they're just fucking people who don't like to admit that they fart.
No, it's not. No, I used to live in a house, and it was a really old house, right? I mean, it was 1700, something like that. And that thing creaked all the time, as heating, as the heat went up and down, as the day went on. You'd sit there, watching Hammer House of Horrors or something, and the room above you is creaking because you just added a bunch of coal to the fire. I mean, that's just what you get with houses. They settle and they expand and contract during the day, and they creak. Nothing wrong with that. Just perfect. It's called science. There's nothing to do. And anyway, why would they creak? I mean, because we already agreed that they don't walk, right? So they're not pressure. They're not putting pressure on any steps, so they wouldn't creak steps, would they?
That's not necessarily true. Once again, if you're talking about a residual haunting, you're talking about a energy that
smelly things.
Was just on the place, right? So this is an incident that happened, and it's kind of stuck on repeat. So if the person walked across the floor and murdered somebody, then you're going to hear the creaking of the floor. That's part of a residual haunting. And if it's a intelligent haunting, then you would hear whatever the ghost would be doing at that moment. So if they're moving shit around, you're going to hear it.
I don't like this kind of class distinction. You're now creating a caste system that's like the stupid ones and the smelly ones and the clever ones. Not fair.
Geez, I really hope to fuck that no cunt's ever been convicted on evidence like this. Oh, he must have done it because he made that creak in the floor and he smelt like this. And fuck.
Well, no, I tell you what, going back to the 1800s, I think it was. I mean, people were convicted for all kinds of weird shit. We convicted a monkey for being French. We did. We hung a monkey thinking it was French.
Don't talk
about fucking caste system for the ghosts. Great.
Apparently there is now. Just imposing their own views on these poor things. I mean, what have they ever done to you?
Well, Cabby, you missed your chance with half of fucking Canada because them people are so fucking depressed they think they're French too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They can pick me up. Well, that's why they got BC Bud, mate.
They are French light. So there there is.
Are you talking to Quebecois?
Goddamn French. Let's be fair, the Canadians are nothing more than failed French. Let's get blunt here, people.
Well, no, not the Canadians, the French Canadians. That's not because there are British Canadians, You can't clump them all in as one.
Oz just said, I really want to see a monkey on trial. Actually, that would be quite funny.
Don't worry,
it'd be the smartest thing in the room.
If you're still listening, Justy Smollett will be back up on trial soon.
Good job.
I thought that.
That deserves a round of applause.
I wasn't gonna say it, and yeah, you went there.
Yeah, no,
okay.
He had to, yeah.
Oh, I'm so not surprised that he did.
What's that meant to mean?
It means that you are the most boisterous person in this room, with the exception of myself. But you are cleverer than I am.
Well, that wouldn't be hard. You're a woman.
You are starting from a back foot, to be honest.
Oh, dear God.
Most of the people in this room are cleverer than I am, with the exception of Dodge and Farty.
That's
What the fuck did I do?
So you see, all we're getting now is segregation. Segregation everywhere. Fucking ghosts, now it's us. It's just divide and conquer.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh boy.
But all right.
Unfortunately,
So
I've got to head now.
we're hitting the 2-hour mark. Anything else, guys, or should we wrap her up?
Do what you want.
I'm good to wrap up anyway. It's time for me to head off. So thank you
Yeah,
for
good
coming,
night.
everybody. And I had a highly entertaining evening. Looking forward to the next
It was fun.
year's time. But bye-bye, everybody.
Total bit.
All right. Well, have a
much.
good night,
See you
Jensen.
later.
And, yeah, thank you everybody for coming out. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll be the Red Eye open mic night. So go ahead and jump in. Good night, good luck, and don't go to France unless you're Cabby. He loves
No.
And have a